Okay guys, so let's get going with our rest of the topics. And so we decided in last class that we'll have our midterm after the intersession week or reading week. So we'll have both the SQL as well as the Exchange or the mail server after the reading week. Okay, so we're gonna I'll be starting the machines, and we're gonna go for more topics inside our mail server. And what we did last time was that we opened the email client OA or Outlook Web Access or Web App within the browser. And we opened the Exchange Admin Center or EAC, and there we explored many options of Exchange Server. Basically, it's the Exchange dashboard, Exchange Server application dashboard, EAC or Exchange Admin Center. And then we created mailboxes as well. Created a new mailbox inside Exchange Server for a new Active Directory user. And from within Exchange Server, you can do that. That you can create a new mailbox within Exchange Server for a new user, and the user will be created in Active Directory while the mailbox in Exchange Server. Created a mailbox for existing Active Directory users, so we created one mailbox, Exchange mailbox for an existing Active Directory user, while then we created the mailbox for 390 users with the PowerShell commandlet. So for the midterm exam, it's going to be mostly true false, and what we covered, it's going to cover that obviously, and we cannot backtrack. It's going to be 1 hour. It's going to be open book, and so I'll just put those details there as well before the in Blackboard. And so what we covered in the slides and in the video and in the in that OneNote. So there will be 25 questions total with open book and 1 hour. So, well, I'll put the details at the end of this class as well. And any questions about the midterm you can ask. So in last class, we logged in from a user mailbox to test if everything is working. So we logged in from OVA and then checked for mail flow by sending email from administrator user mailbox to another mailbox or end user mailbox. Okay, students are still coming. So I created 3 mailbox databases in separate drives dedicated for database and log files. So we created 3 mailbox databases in separate drives as well. And I showed that in the diagram as well as so what we will do today is let's explore the mailbox features, and let's migrate the mailboxes from 1 mailbox database to 3 mailbox databases in equal amounts. We did create 3 mailbox databases there, and we'll also do a local migration from 1 mailbox database to the other 3 mailbox databases. So I'm just going to go inside and try to open my Exchange server. Server 1 or infrastructure roles server should be always on. So I'm just going to send the 3 it's a control or delete with pressing these 3 buttons for server 1, and try to log into this, and I'll just try to log in from this one as well. Server 2 is now so I'm logging in from the domain admin account, which is also the top account for Exchange Server 2016. Also, I'll just try to check if how much of my CPU and RAM is being used. Okay, so it's my C drive that is being 100% used. That's not good. Okay. Let's be a workstation that's using it. Okay, I'm just going to minimize this, and so server 1 is starting, and server 2, it says get updates, so I'll just click that, get updates here. Okay, while this is going on here, so I'll just go back to the topics while it's just starting, and I'll open the Google Chrome as well. And so what we are trying to go for, I'll just quickly create that diagram as well. So week 6 we had we logged into OVA, so there are two URLs there, the ECP and OVA. So if in the exam, in the midterm, if I say obviously that we connect to ECP by just typing that link that ends with OVA, so obviously it will be wrong, and we go to the dashboard by typing the link OWA, so it will be also wrong. So ECP goes to the dashboard and OVA goes to the mailbox of the end user. And so you should know those links there, and then mail flow was tested, but so there could be a question in the exam or midterm that in our lab, if it starts with in our lab, so this means that obviously I'm referring to the lab here. So for the midterm, some information there. I'll put after the reading week, we'll have that. So 25 questions, cannot backtrack. So once you click ahead, next, then you cannot go back. So you just have to cite it's open book. And it's 1 hour. So from 6, for obviously for Tuesday for COMP3102, COMP3102. So it's a class, first hour of the class time, right? From so it will be 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and COMP3114, 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. right? 4 and midterm, questions will come from the slides, video content, discussions, lab configurations, and the OneNote, right? Other than that, so at the end of the hour, it's just gonna forcefully end, so try to finish it before that. There will be 2 attempts. It's not available, but first attempt will be marked, right? First attempt will be marked, and the second attempt is only there if your machine had some error, machine slash browser had some error, right? In that case, please take a screenshot of the error, or take pic from cell phone of the error, right? Good. And email me to so I could know that the reason you attempted, the reason you went for second attempt. So, well, if there, I'll be obviously online for the duration of the exam, and I will, if there are any questions about that, so you can just ask on WhatsApp or WebEx during the exam. So, okay, so this is just for midterm, and if there are any questions, then do let me. And it is obviously happening after reading week. After reading week. Okay, so I'll just put it on the group as well as here. Alright guys, so that I'm just gonna go ahead now with the okay, so I'll just open that Exchange server, and let's go for our first screenshots here. That would be logging in from ACP ANOVA. Okay, so that's really so while it is opening, I'll just try to also go for that diagram where it so we can just talk about the next. So we have two machines here. We actually need to have the third machine here as well. So I'll be trying to go for that too. So it's server 1 here and server 2. And so right now what we have is one drive, physical drive here. One physical drive here and one physical drive here in second server, but we also have two other physical drives. So you know why I wrote that question there or information about that as well, because there's one more thing I wanted to mention is in the for the exam, and that is if the question starts as in our lab, so this means we are talking about the configurations or any steps we took in our course lab. So I'm not gonna go really deep inside. Okay, what was the next step after that? It's just gonna be just some main configurations only. That since it's open book, so obviously you will have help there. But in our lab just means that whatever we're doing. And so what was the configuration? Did we had 5 machines in our lab? Well, that's just an example. That's too easy actually. We just had 2 machines, right? In fact, or 5 machines. You can say 3 machines as well. Like one is the template machine. The other ones are the server 1 and server 2. So if it starts within our lab, then it's about our lab. So don't be confused about any other lab there. Okay, I'll just come back here, and what I was trying to create here, put here was the 2 databases. So we have already 3 databases, in fact, we have right now. So one database is the default one, and the other three that we created were created on by us, and this mailbox database. So if I go for default mailbox DB, so that's the default mailbox database, and default mailbox database, while the other ones are actually the database that we created. So your first name mailbox db01. So I'll just check out the names there that we have given. And well, obviously I need to log in first, so that's what I was trying to go for. So I'll just put the name of the server here. It is your first name serve 2. Okay, so I'll try to first log in from ECP. What about server 3? It says what about server 3? So server 3 is well, yeah. So if we create the machines there, yeah, it's one template machine, server 1, server 2, server 3. So 4 machines totally we created. Suppose that question comes in the exam. Obviously now I'm not going to ask that question because we already discussed that. But I'm just giving an example of if this question comes. So definitely, as you said, also these are the 3. So total 4 servers we created. One template machine and server 1, server 2, server 3. You're right. So your first name server. Okay, there you go. So it is already cached in the browser, the OVA link. So I'm just going to go for ECP. So guys, for any question in the exam that you're confused about, so you can just at once come to the mic on WhatsApp or WebEx. I'll be there, or just ask in the WhatsApp or WebEx in the chat. Hey, what about this? What about that? What about this? So you can just try to ask that question as well, or any question. Anyway, so well, it's just giving the same thing that it was, or same error it was giving before as well. I'm just gonna go quickly to run and then services.msc, and I think it's taking just its time to start all the services. I'll go to startup here, and yes, all the services again are not working. Now there is, yes, a PowerShell commandlet for that as well, and I'll try to just put that PowerShell commandlet there instead to start these services. So for that, I'll go inside the Exchange server and Exchange management shell. Although it's the services can be covered from Windows PowerShell as well. So I'll right click here and go for run as administrator of Windows PowerShell. So Exchange management shell is there. It can be run from there as well. So what are the commands to start Exchange services? Well, it's in my PowerShell start Exchange 2016 services commandlet. Oh, there you go. So Amir has get that service, start service. No, just the Exchange services. Because there are some services that we don't want to start actually. So it's EXCH at the start. The service name can be there. If I show you there, so they start with the service name here. So if I right click here on any one service and go for properties, so MS Exchange, MS EXCH. So normally the service names would be MS EXCH. So how to start any service whose name is starting with MS EXCH star, right? So if I just go to this random service and I go for another random service here, and it is also starting with MS EXCH. So how to start just those services which have the name MS EXCH at the beginning, right? So yes, as you said, also there are also on Exchange page, they're saying just start all the services in PowerShell if the Exchange services are, and yes, they didn't go for that. So, okay, since, oh, there is an Exchange. You can see here, there's the Exchange word. So get service Exchange. Now, anything Exchange written there, I could just try to start that. So in PowerShell, first of all, I'll just open that notepad here, or in OneNote, I'll quickly put that so we could use it. So to start only Exchange server related services, PowerShell cmd let, and it just shows here. Okay, so it's a get dash exchange, so start asterisk exchange asterisk, so that's how it shows here. Hopefully I'm able to copy it here, yeah, and control C. So I'll try to put it here and check if it is able to start all the services. So what, waiting for service Microsoft Exchange Active Directory topology to start. Yes, it is working fine. It's trying to start. So anything which has the name, yes, it's starting fine. So only Exchange services are something that. So guys, in the midterm, if I ask that how to start only Exchange services, so that would be the, and maybe I could give wrong command there. Suppose the one mentioned there in the chat by Amir, that just to start Exchange services, and I'll give the get dash service pipe start dash service, right? So that would be the wrong answer. But if how to start all the services, so that would be the correct answer. So just be careful about the tricky true false questions there. They're going to be really tricky. But obviously, true false, either it's true or false. So not, you just have to sometimes. Okay, so the right now Exchange services are starting, and this is, so guys, that would be the first screenshot. Start PowerShell commandlet to start only Exchange services. So take your first screenshot here. Take your first screenshot. Take your first screenshot. PowerShell commandlet to start Exchange services. PowerShell commandlet to start Exchange services. So that's your first screenshot. I'll take that sample screenshot now, right? But if your services are already started, you don't need to start if they are already started. You can only start, you need to only start if they are not started. So if they are already started, you don't need this. Actually, mine, they were not started, so that's why I used that, but that's a very good thing for everyone as well. Suppose you want to restart the services, right? So in that case, you can just, go for, instead of start service, you can just click restart service. So it will restart pretty much all Exchange services, right? So please take, wow, serious. It's just mentioning every service until it goes to the next service only when the first service has fully started. So that's why it's mentioning the name of one service, keep on mentioning until it is fully started, then it goes to the next one, then it goes to the next one, then it goes to the next one. So, okay, now, guys, if you have taken the screenshot, whether it is the command is written there, I'll just try to, oh man, serious? It's not, yeah, as soon as the next line starts, it's just not showing me anymore. So I'll just go ahead and take that screenshot. Oh, okay. And it has the commandlet on top showing. So I'll just quickly go there and screenshot one. Screenshot. So this is good for restart, and that comes in troubleshooting when your Exchange service is stuck, and suppose your emails are stuck and you've tried everything, and then at the end you want to restart all the services. Instead of start, you can go for restart. So screenshot one, PowerShell commandlet to start only Exchange services, and here's a screenshot. I'll just put it here as well. mail server equals screenshot one of PowerShell CMD let start only exchange services. Okay, so that's the first screenshot here, and let's go ahead. So well, it is starting all the exchange services here, and that is oh, you know what, I was just looking at the picture and saying that. Seriously, what's wrong with me? Well, it is still starting. While this is doing that, at least I don't have to go right click and start, right click and start. So your first name mailbox DB, I went there for the mailbox. So suppose that's not the long name I gave. So that was mailbox 01 or one first mailbox database that we created, and then we went for the second mailbox database. So then we went for the third one. We created those. Now what do we do with those? We already actually have. I'm going to explain about this script one more time, please. What was for? Oh, okay. So what was the purpose of that script? The purpose of this script was to start my exchange services. So when I went for my exchange services here, this is what it was showing here. So all my exchange services against automatic, the status column did not show running. If I refresh now, it is going to be it's gonna now change to running, but this is, if I didn't refresh yet. John says, what was the run command? So the run command was let me just show you in portal as well, and that is, so you don't need to run this command if your services are already started. So you need to, everyone need to, those who have the exchange machine need to first check. Suppose you run this on a started service, so it's not going to then take that much time. It's going to just say, hey, it's already started. Maybe it will give you an error. Anyone can try and check this out. Suppose you run it on a started service, it's not going to take that much time then. And you don't need to run it if your services are already started for Exchange Server, right? About the script. Oh, okay. Prerequisite script. Oh, wow. That's way back. So what was the purpose of that, Hamid? So students asking about the prerequisite script, so the purpose of prerequisite script is to configure different operating system areas for Exchange Server. If you don't run the script, Exchange Server will not be able to, you won't be able to install Exchange Server. Exchange Server wants these configurations to be done in different corners of your operating system. So pretty much that prerequisite script for Exchange prepares the operating system to install Exchange Server. So it's very critical. We must run it before we install Exchange. Okay. So as we were talking about this, while this is going on, I'm also explaining what we needed to do. So all the 390 mailboxes, yes. So another question from Hamid, that will I ask about the script that we ran on the, as a prerequisite. Remember that there was a very long script that we ran there. So yes, I could ask that, what's the purpose of prerequisite script? So yeah, your answer, normally it's going to be true false. If it's a short answer, yeah, then you can just answer that. Otherwise, true false, I would say something about the script and it could be right or wrong, so it's your decision. But the purpose of prerequisite script is to prepare the operating system to install Exchange 2016. So that, if you have that in mind, you will be able to answer the question easily. All right. Well, so guys, as we were seeing there, and yeah, any question, guys, from the previous lab steps, then you can put it on WhatsApp as well before the midterm, and as a prep, if you want to ask those questions. What about this? What about that? If we had discussed that already in the video, so I would recommend that, hey, please watch the video as well. Or if there are specific questions, then yes, I will answer those as well. All right, guys. So we have 390 mailboxes here, right? So those 390 mailboxes must not be on top of in just one database. So why they should not be in one database? Obviously, there are too many. Well, normally in production environment, you will see even 2,000 mailboxes in one mailbox database, or 2,000 mailboxes in 3 or 4 databases that are installed in one server. So per Exchange server, you might see even 2,000 mailboxes because of very good RAM and because of the storage area network, the SAN solution. So it's SSD drives there because of the good Xeon processors there, like 16 core, 32 core processors. So you would see 2,000 mailboxes there, or 1,500 mailboxes. But right now, the main thing is they are distributed among different mailbox databases. They cannot be, we cannot put all the mailboxes in one mailbox database. So we need to distribute these 390 mailboxes to or among the 3 databases here. And the reason obviously would be that if there are lesser amount of mailboxes per mailbox database, then the database will perform better. The backup file, when you take a backup of a database, if it's already itself is 60 GB, so you're taking first full backup as 60 GB backup of that database, then incremental backups would be smaller, but the full backup taken for a big database, would the backup itself will be big as well. So that's one thing. Second thing is that too many mailboxes here then also affects the performance of the whole database. Suppose there are some abusers which have mailboxes which and those mailboxes size are 30 GB, 20 GB mailbox, 40 GB mailbox. So in that case, anyone opening that 40 GB mailbox, so the effort, the amount, the resources that it takes from the mailbox database, from the memory of that server, from the CPU of that server, and SSD drive, IOPS, input output data per second. So one big huge mailbox opening up slows down the opening and regular performance of the other mailboxes in the same mailbox database. So all mailboxes should be lighter, and there should be lesser amount of mailboxes in your mailbox database. So that's why we're gonna migrate the all mailboxes in 3 batches. We're gonna create 3 batches there, and we're gonna start migrating them. Although they are all empty mailboxes right now, so that's it should be finishing a bit faster. In last class, when I was showing one mailbox migration, it didn't finish for as for the duration when I started at the end of the class for last 10 minutes, I guess, or last 5 minutes. So normally in the background it's preparing the mailbox and it's checking the destination, so that's why it took too much time. So I'm going to start initiate the migration of 390 mailboxes to all 3 mailbox databases. Like some of them, because they are in letters, like all the A's, all the mailboxes whose name starts with A's, we can just migrate to the first one. All the mailboxes whose names start with B's and C's and E's up to F's. So I can migrate them to second one, third one. So it's up to you how you want to distribute them on different databases, because all databases offer the same capacity, same performance. So we can just move the mailboxes on among the 3, or maybe you have actually 30 databases. It's a large organization. So in that case, you would just decide according to name, according to teams. Maybe Toronto branch team on these 3 databases, New York branch team on the rest of the 3 databases, and Vancouver mailboxes to the other 5 databases, suppose. So you can just distribute them according to however you want them to be distributed, whatever the reason for grouping them in one database. For senior managers, for directors, you might want to go for a separate database, and you can make those databases highly available and do more incremental backups of those databases which host our CEO's mailbox or director's mailbox or senior managers or managers' mailboxes. You could just do it that way as well. Obviously, you would have an archiving solution with that too, so the mailbox sizes remain light all the time, and all emails are moved to the archive databases. Okay, so this is one thing that we were talking about, that we need to start the migration of the databases. I'll check back my Exchange server here, and I'll click that services here, and I'll refresh. So I can see that majority of the services are started except for notification service. Some services start and then they stop again. So that is also okay, that if they haven't given any error and they stopped. So this is also okay. This means that whenever that service is needed, then it will start, and when it's not needed, it's gonna stop. So you should know the back end of how Exchange server troubleshooting can be done, as we see our. And then there is a compliance audit. So this service may not be needed, so that they stopped it. It's supposed to be, whatever is automatic startup is supposed to have a status of running, but some services do stop if they're not needed. So the rest of them are running. So if I go back and check my commandlet here, so it just says that start service, failed to start service, Hyper-V data, Exchange service, start service. So it will fail to start just one service, and it does not give me any reason for that, but the rest of the services are started. So I'm counting on that, this would help me run my Exchange server. So I'm just going to minimize all the other windows, and try to refresh the browser or close the browser, and then, so yes, my Outlook now is opening, which was not opening before. And okay, so this is the domain and the username. So that's the domain admin account mailbox that I'm entering right now. Small ABC governance issue 123.shift123, and yeah, it's going to my mailbox of admin, where we also tested the mail flow. And second thing, I need to log into ECP as well. So same URL, but it should not end with OWA. It should end with ECP. So if I just type ECP, right? So any URL that may have been cached, yes, if I just type ECP, there's a URL that was cached with this. So I'm just gonna click that. Better not just follow the whole URL, but yes, it just logged in. So I'm logged in from my domain admin user account already, and oh, okay, it was an extra window that was open. There was a URL of that window. Okay, I'll just remove the whole path here and go for just this link. Okay, so I'm inside the Exchange Admin Center, while it should be EAC actually, but the link is URL is ECP. So if I say in the midterm that I have to put the machine name plus EAC, or Exchange Admin Center. So it's not EAC, it's ECP. Exchange Control Panel is what is the abbreviation of this. But when we log in, so it's the Exchange Admin Center is the name. So it's not EAC, it's ECP. So if the true false comes there, be alert about that as well. So just gave us one answer. So whatever I'm giving you answer now, so obviously that question may not come, or that question would be further twisted, quote unquote. So yeah, I call those 25 questions as 25 traps. So beware. Okay, let's go ahead, guys, and the recipients mailboxes. We have all the mailboxes there. And I'm just going to go down here to the servers where we last time created the databases. So servers, we have just one server. We still need to install Exchange server in the other one as well. Whew, good luck to me and us, those who are doing that. And then second thing is the databases. So these are the databases here, and your first name DB01, DB02, DB03 are in statuses mounted, right? So, and this is also, these columns are really important as well. Active on server. Right now, we know that these databases or mailbox databases were created on server 2. But once we have server 3 here, once we have a second Exchange server here, then you will have to check that. And once we have this feature, database availability groups enabled, then it will be very important to know that which database, which server this database is enabled on. Is it on server 3, which we haven't configured yet, but once we do, so it will start showing you 2 servers and which database, which server, sorry, the database is mounted on at that time, we're going to say. So this column would be important later when we configure database availability groups or DAG feature. So servers with copies, so that is also important, that suppose you create a copy of this database in another server. So server 2 may have the active database, and the server 3 may have the passive or standby database for this first database, a mailbox database here. So servers with copies is just one, but later when we configure this database availability group, so you will see 2 copies, 2 server names showing here, or 1 server name showing here, whichever has the copy or standby copy of that, and active is whichever we're connected to now. So status is mounted here. That's going bad copy count. Sometimes there are some corrupt items there inside the mailboxes. Some mailboxes are corrupt. They're not just opening, or one email is there. Once we had in a bank, we had one database, none of the mailboxes were opening, and then when we investigated, so there was one mailbox which was corrupt. Because of that, none of the other mailboxes were open as well. So it affected the whole database. That was new for us as well. So we talked to Microsoft, and they said, okay, yeah, so just disable that mailbox or move it to another new database. It's affecting all the mailboxes as well. Anyway, so bad copy count just means that you have some kind of corruption there. Maybe the calendar is corrupt, or it's not opening, or it's just not letting anything else work as well, or tasks or anything else. So we see that there are 3 databases there, but right now, if we want to check that which databases have how many mailboxes, now that commandlet also I showed last time. The PowerShell Exchange Management Shell is already open. In fact, it did not connect the first time. It's just asking for the FQDN. If I give the FQDN of this machine, it should. Now, why it's giving an error? Obviously, because the services were not started at that time, and we started those services now. So I'll just give it an FQDN instead of, I was thinking of just close and open it again. It should have worked. But you can also give what it's asking, and it's asking just the fully qualified domain name of the Exchange server. Now it's connecting. So once it is connected, sometimes it's just cursor is blinking in the background. It's done, but sometimes it's just showing in front that it's just processing. So when you press enter here, then it goes to the next prompt. Here it just worked. So I just want you to type that command, get-mailbox database, so D, and then I press tab to auto-complete that. So it's just going to give the list of the mailbox databases that we have. We ran that last time as well. Then we went for the list of the mailboxes that are available here. So suppose I go for get mailbox database, and in fact I type just one of the empty ones here, so it's not going to show up anything here. I'm just going for one and pipe sign here with get-mailbox. Now if this commandlet comes in the true false, so I should, I'm not going to tell the rest now, but if it comes, just what I'm telling you now here is that the purpose of this commandlet specifically is to know the number of mailboxes in this particular mailbox database. That's the purpose of this commandlet, right? So I'm not gonna now say the scenario, because yes, then I'm running out of how many questions should I ask now, since I told mentioned every question and answer here. So okay, I'll just press enter here, and if it shows nothing, or if it shows nothing, obviously then there was no mailbox inside, or if there were any number of mailboxes, it's going to show those mailboxes here. So it's just PowerShell written there. It's not a separate drive. It just says that you're in the C drive, but PowerShell commandlets are enabled, or PowerShell module is loaded. So, but it's not a separate drive. So all the PowerShell module that you're accessing, module means that it has all the PowerShell commandlets there. So they are available in C. Okay, so here Alan Reed. Oh yeah, actually last time I did migrate one mailbox, so it's showing that in this mailbox database I have one mailbox already. So definitely, so here this is just one mailbox. But if I go for other, if I just up arrow this and go for, hey, what about the other mailbox database, and I remove that and put 2 here, obviously nothing because I did not migrate anything, and 3 here, so nothing here. So none of the other mailbox databases have any mailbox now. So what I need to do is I need to migrate among 390 mailboxes. I need to just divide them among 3 mailbox databases. So what I can do is that I'll just put a plan here. So what's the plan? I'll just go down to the slide, or well, okay, I'll put it in the slide as well, and I'll put it there. So mailbox migration strategy or plan, right? So all mailboxes are inside the default mailbox database. Let's migrate these equally, or it doesn't have to be really equally, literally equally, among the newly created 3 mailbox databases. Okay, so let's migrate mailboxes whose names start with A till E or F. Okay, A till F. Let's migrate mailboxes whose name starts with A till F to your first name DB01, and then so I'll just copy it 3 times and just give the range there, and then I'll select I'll create the first migration batch, and just select until those names, and then go for the other one and select until those names. So GHIJKLM, okay, M till M to mailbox database 2. So I need to start this task in the background, right? So it should keep on going while we're going for some other topics there. And again, let's migrate mailboxes from OMN to Z. Okay. On users, so it doesn't have to be that way. You could just group them as you like, but I'm just creating some criteria here for grouping the amount of mailboxes to be migrated to one type of mailbox database. So this is mailbox migration strategy, and for this we're gonna create batches. So let's create 3 batches. So if the question comes in our lab, and then how many batches did we create, or well, it could be as easy as that, or it could be a bit more tricky, but whatever, we are covering only from that. So let's create 3 migration batches. That is also called migration batch. So migration batches, and migrate the mailboxes according to above plan. Okay, so I'm gonna start that now for migration. Okay, so I'll just go to my Exchange server in server 2, and I'm in Exchange server 2 in the Exchange Admin Center, and then I'll go for the recipients area, right? Why am I in recipients area? Because at the end of it is the migration there. We will be covering these topics as well, obviously, but first of all, I should initiate that task in the background of migration because it takes time. but we need to understand as well, okay, so there's a migration here, and how do we do that? Oh, we create batches, and then we just give the destination database, and it just moves to that. So I click the migration here, and then I'll go for, there's a plus sign here. It says, hey, you want to migrate to a different database? Yes, and or you want to migrate to this forest. So suppose you have a separate Microsoft forest created, that could be of another company. Suppose a big company just purchased or took over a small company there. So that small company had their own forest and their child domains there and their exchange server. So, or maybe there's a merger going on, and the big company wants to migrate all the mailboxes of the small company they bought to their own company. So this would be then cross-forest mailbox migration. So we're going to go for move to a different database here. I'm just going to click that. And so it says that you can either use a CSV file to specify the users you'd like to move. So the CSV file you can create just like, we had a script file there in server 1, and that script file, or that CSV file, sorry, liveusers.csv, right? So if I double click that, I think it opens in Notepad. And then you can just put that. So, well, these are the names here, that, and the password one is given there. Suppose you change the password in CSV file, it will change in the script as well. So script just reads all the names from this CSV file, where you will put that according to what the format that it requires. But this is how it looks like if you wanted to use a CSV. Why would you want to use CSV? Suppose we're just going A, B, C, D, right, like this in an order. So suppose you have one user from A, letter A, so it's Alan, and the second user is from letter D, third user from letter Z. You group them together according to branch they belong to, or the department they belong to. So in that case, you will go for CSV. Okay, I'm just going to go for select the users that you want to move, and I'm going to click plus sign here. Okay, and then I need to go ahead and try to move. Now I know that one of the mailboxes was moved. Alan Reed was moved already. Okay, so I'll not put Alan Reed here. Asha Bihari, and then I'll go ahead and go for A. If I select A here, okay, I'll select Asha Bihari later. So from A, I'm just selecting without Alan Reed. Suppose you select that Alan Reed as well. So the migration will detect that, oh, it's already there. So it's going to give you an error, but then it's going to keep on migrating the rest. It's not going to stop because, hey, you all migrated one, why did you add it in the list? So, but I'm just going for A, and then how the strategy was till F. Okay. So, but you can group it the way, whichever way you want. So from A, then C, D, that's a lot, E, F. Okay, Frank Warboys. So until that, I selected, and that's 113 mailboxes selected here. I'll click the add button here, and then press OK here to select all the names. And so once that is selected, 1,000 mailboxes, that's it. We're not using a CSV file. So I'm just going to click next. So this is the migration batch. So I'll just go for mig batch 1, and then dash A dash 2 dash F dash mailboxes. Okay, I'll control C, so I'll remember this name for the second and third batch as well. So now it's saying that move the primary mailbox and the archive mailbox if one exists. We didn't create a archive mailbox, so we're not worrying about that. We talked about that last week as well, that what are the other scenarios. But I'm just going to go for target database. That's what they're interested in. That, hey, where do you want to move these guys, these mailboxes? So I'm just going to click browse. Now we have 3 mailbox databases there. So I'm just going to select the first one. It's already selected actually, and I'll click add button here. So these particular mailboxes are going only to the mailbox DB01, and press OK. So guys, this would be our screenshot number 2. Migration batch 1 A to F. So make batch 1 A to F. This is our second screenshot, and you can see the destination as well. So make batch 1 A to F. Take a screenshot here, take a screenshot here, take a screenshot here. Okay, so make batch 1 A to F. So migration batch 1 A to F. So I'll just take a sample screenshot now. Hopefully you've taken the screenshot. So I'll just grab it. There's a screenshot here, and I'll put now screenshot 2, make batch 1 A to F. I'll put the screenshot, and I'll put that in WhatsApp as well. Screenshot 2, make batch 1, okay, A to Z. A to, oh, not Z, A to F, sorry. A to F. Okay, that's the sample screenshot there, and it's here as well now. I'll go back. So this is the page of which we took a screenshot. Hopefully everyone took that with their name in the background. Okay, so once this is created, so there was that detail of oh yeah, Khalid, this is the one. If you want to take a screenshot, this is the screen. Hopefully you took it. Okay, so this is and the title is there already in WhatsApp. So now bad item limit. Obviously in midterm I could just ask that, hey, what is bad item limit? Or I could give it, obviously in true false I will have to say something, and you have to decide is it true or false. So bad item limit in this screen, I'll just go for detail here. So since it's open book, you will have access obviously to your OneNote, to all your slides, and well, to 4-hour video. But the thing is, so bad item limit is, it is there for the purpose of continuing the migration of mailbox until the limit of bad items / errors inside mailbox, like corrupt calendar item, task item, email. So it could be any of those, and so until the limit of bad items is reached, and then what happens? Then the mailbox migration of that particular mailbox, migration of that particular mailbox is stopped, right? So that's just bad item limit. So you put some bad item limit there, and suppose there is you put 1 here, suppose, which is a bad idea obviously. Suppose you put 1. So if there is only 1 corruption there, for that you may not want to stop the migration process. Migration process is obviously you're migrating it for some critical reason. Maybe you have created the new databases in a newer faster physical machine or virtual machine. So you really want that migration to happen. So obviously you would not want to have it stop just because of one calendar item or task item is corrupt. So you normally what we do, we in production environment we go for 30 bad item limits, right? So, but you can just if you're an administrator there, obviously you would just select according to your needs that how much bad items we can. So suppose you go for 100 here, so that would also not be advisable to migrate a mailbox to a new database, and that mailbox already has so much corrupted items that if that mailbox reaches there, it might corrupt the database, new database where you're moving this mailbox to. So there's a limit to how many bad items or corrupt components of a mailbox you can tolerate and still let the migration happen. Okay, so instead of 10, I changed to 30, but it's okay even if it's 10. But normally we would want to migrate successfully so we could get rid of the older database and then deal with those corrupt items there. Okay, so this is the page that we took the screenshot of. It's okay. You took a screenshot when it was 10. I changed it to 30, which is okay. So I'm just going to click next here. The main thing is, do we understand what we're doing and why we're doing that? So a new migration batch will be created, and this is the top admin account. Now please select the preferred option to start the batch. Manually start the batch later by selecting in the migration dashboard and then clicking start, or automatically start the batch. So you want to schedule that start of migration, that's good, or you want to start automatically or right now at the end of this wizard. Second thing is, please select the preferred option to complete the batch. So manual complete the batch by clicking the complete this migration batch link on the right pane after the link becomes active. So automatically complete. So now this is an important option. Suppose the boss says, hey, why don't you just migrate these 70 users, suppose, or these 100 users today, and you want to go home, right? So the boss says you just have to start this migration at 7 p.m. when everyone's gone from the office. So you think that, hey, okay, when I start this migration, all the mailboxes will be slowly loading up and then they will be migrated. Why don't I go for this option where the background heavy lifting task will be done during till 7 o'clock it will be done. So the migration, the loading of the mailboxes, the preparation of the mailboxes to be migrated will be done in the background. It will and at 7 o'clock what you can do is simply click one button, and all the tasks that would have taken a lot of time was already done till 7 o'clock, and at that time they just make that final move of moving away from the older database to the newer database. So this feature is really cool that you save a lot of time. That background task is supposed to be done. It should just start, but do not migrate the whole mailbox. Do not move over from the older to the newer, but just prepare everything. And once at certain time you want to click that button, as soon as you click, everything else was done. Just the name and the location, Active Directory information was moved, which takes seconds, and you're done at 7. You go home at 7:15, right? So the main purpose here is to just do the heavy lifting in the background already, and just the final move over you can do. If you select this, the final move, you can just click one button and it will be done, and you can go home, right? This starts right away, preparing the mailboxes to be transferred from one database to another. So I'll click that automatically complete, and I'll click start the batch as well, and click new. Okay, so the migration batch one has been created. Yeah. So it started. Okay, I don't have to wait for that. So I'm just gonna go for creation of the second batch, and I'll go do the same task, just this time it's the different set of mailboxes while the rest of the settings are same. So I'm going to go for move to a different database, And I'll again start selecting the names, and according to our plan, now it is from G to M. Okay, so I'll go down to and there's the Garrett. It starts from Garrett and G till M. So I just randomly selected that. And until Mona. Okay. Okay, so yep, that's 168 mailboxes. Okay, I'm just gonna click the add button. We know the drill now, and press OK. And once they are selected, I'll click next. I'll Control V that. Seriously. Okay, the name is. Thought I copied it. I should have put it on the notepad. So I'll just put that name here. Make batch 2 dash G dash 2 dash M dash mailboxes. Okay, so that's the second one, and the destination database would be the second database now, mailbox database, that is, and double click it, select it, press OK, and I'll go for batch item limit of 30 here. So guys, that would be our third screenshot now. Third screenshot here, third screenshot, take a screenshot here, take a screenshot here. So that would be the same name. It's yeah, it's make batch 2 equals G to M. Make batch, oh, there's a natch here. That's batch. Make batch 2 G to M. Make batch 2 G to M. So take a screenshot here and make batch 2 G to M. I'll just take a screenshot now. Hopefully you've taken that already with your name background somewhere. So took the screenshot, and screenshot 3, that is. Screenshot 3 make batch 2 equals G to M. Make G to M. Screenshot, and I'll put it there. Screenshot 3.
Please, when you're done, I want to take the screenshot, please.
Okay, sure. M2. Oh, what was it? G to M. G to M. Okay. So the screenshot, where is it? Okay, there you go. Hopefully you've taken the screenshot, and the title is there already. So here there's a question, and the question is that could you explain why we received notice in Outlook? So we received a notice in Outlook because this is being done by the administrator, and this is done by administrator, right? So that's why the notification should be there in Outlook that hey, the migration is done or started or initiated by someone. So this is crucial to have those notifications. In fact, if I go back to my Outlook here, so migration batch 1 report, so good observation there, Amit, and 1 has completed. So well, that's I think the old one, or 291 bytes. So yep, this is totally normal to have those notifications because of the task sensitivity. I'll just go back to where we were. whatever, but that's cool. So yeah, the reason is obviously that administrator should know if it's completed or not. Alright guys, so 30 bad item limit, that's just a recommendation, and then I'm going to click next now. Hopefully everyone took the screenshot, and the rest is the usual one. Yes, this is the top admin that is having the privileges to perform this task, and automatically it starts, automatically it finishes the migration as well. I'm just going to click new now, and it initiates. Well, it initiates. I'm actually on OVA here, and or I'll come back here, but in the background it has already initiated the second task as well. So in the background there is make batch 1, that is 113, so it's still syncing here. Now once I just start the third batch as well, then we're going to go down there, view details, and we're going to check that how many are done, how many are not done. Then there's a partial commandlet for that as well, that can tell you that how many are done and how many are still remaining, how many are migrated and how many are still remaining. Okay, so I'm gonna go for the third one quickly, and now we know the drill here. So I'm gonna go for the rest of those after M. Till Z. Okay, so it's Nadia here, and I'll just keep going down now. Thanks. And the last one is Zena Jeans. Okay, that's it. Add. Okay, next. So we know the drill now. So I'll just stick to the naming convention. Make batch 3 dash it's N dash 2 dash Z dash mailboxes. Okay, so I'll just go for the bad item limit as 30. Hopefully we understand what we're doing. And and destination, obviously I forgot to put that. Browse and go for 3 here. Press OK. So make batch 3 N to Z mailboxes DB03 30 and next. So automatically, yeah, start and finish automatically. Thank you, and new. So the 3 batches are now busy, and the tasks are going on. I'm just gonna close this. Okay, so while the 3 batches are there, and the bell icon there, bell sign here, also shows that. And I'm just gonna go for view details here on the third one, but it shows you, so we can select this one, this batch task, and it can show the details of just this, and then this one, and then this one. So anyone, so if I go for the first one and go for view details here, so yes, it's still synchronizing. Basically it's preparing for migration from the source database to the destination database. So none of them have successfully migrated yet. There's a download this report for this user, download the report for this user, and skipped item details during synchronization. Then there are more details here as well, and more details just goes for queued, how many queued mailboxes, how many are in progress of migration, how many are synchronized, being synchronized, how many are stalled there. So I'm just gonna click close here. It's the duration, actually. It's not how many, it's actually the just the durations. So other than that, there is in oh, screenshot of okay, since there's a huge public demand for a screenshot, so let's go for the screenshot. Yay. Okay, so here guys, go ahead, screenshot number 4. 4 1 2 yeah, 4, right? Yeah, 4. So screenshot number 4 is 3 migration batches created. Screenshot 4, take a screenshot here, take a screenshot with your name in the background. 3 migration batches created. Take a screenshot for 3 migration batches created. Take a screenshot. 3 migration batches created. Okay, so hopefully you've taken the screenshot. So I'll take the screenshot now, the sample one. And I'll go to this. So screenshot for migration batches created, or 3 migration batches created, or just migration batches created. Same thing. I'll put it there. Server screenshot for migration batches created. Okay. Hopefully you don't have early morning exam tomorrow. Okay, so anyway, here we're gonna go for, yeah, the screenshot's done. Screenshot 4, let's go ahead. Now there's a commandlet for checking the status as well, and just like I went for this command here as an exchange admin, yeah, reboot. You want to reboot the services, so I'll just put it in the this slide as well, so you could know. That's restart of services, right? So restart services was wow, turn it online. Okay, so I'll just put this here. So this command, if I just put anything in midterm regarding this command, so you should know. To start just exchange services. Services. Okay. Yeah, what I was trying to look for here now is the Exchange 2016 PowerShell migration commands, cmdlet. So there is that new move request and get move request. So obviously new move request would actually help you to create a mailbox, right? Then there is a get move as well, new move request, and then there's a in the get as well. So new migration batch would create a new batch, and also, so if I just go back, there was also some command. Let's get migration user statistics. But that's for, yeah, it's working for 2016, 2013, 2019. Some commandlets don't work, and some are okay. So first of all, I'm just going to go for get dash move request. Then I'm going to also go for get dash migration user statistics, just to get some more information here. If I go back to this and Exchange management shell, so get dash move. If I just put move and press tab, is there any such commandlet? Yes, there is. When you press tab, it auto completes that. So get dash move request. If I just press enter to get dash move request here, so then it shows you a long list of what users are completed, what are in progress, what are in queued. You can see it's changing. So some are completed actually, some are in progress, and a lot are in a long queue right now. Right, so that's the commandlet. That's just a simple one. Normally we refine it, we check the statistics in a smaller window. But if I go up there, there's a get dash move request here, and the completed mailboxes are till here, and then in progress are this, and then some completed, and then in progress. And once in progress finishes, then you can see the queued starts, and even in the mid, some are completed, some are in progress, and many are queued here. So according to different criteria, they're just grabbing the mailboxes and simply migrating. And majority are in queue right now, but you can see that maybe 20% are done already here. And obviously, if I go for up arrow here, get move request again, so it's just going to show again. But till now, what is done, it will just show more completed are now there. In fact, it seems like it's 30% are done. I'm just guessing, and so it's not going to take that much time. Or oh yeah, that's a lot of queue. But in progress. So these are the status there, and the second commandlet there was, so first one was this get dash move request, right? There's okay, get dash move request, right? So I'll just go down, get dash move request for the first one, right? I'll just put it here, and portal menu. Okay, so get dash move request. You know, so it gives us the you know, real-time task statistics or task information about how many mailboxes are so completed, as you can see, and also in progress and queued. So these are the statistics. So if I ask in midterm any tricky question about that, get dash move request actually shows this, and that instead of this. So you would understand then. Okay, so that's just showing the real time what's going on with the get dash move. Then if we go back here, so there's get dash migration user statistics. Now it could be a custom script that they made, or it could be an actual commandlet inside the Exchange module. So there's get dash migration user statistics, right? So if I go for get dash migration and then I press tab here, get dash migration user, and if I press S here at the end and press tab, yes, that's a commandlet in the Exchange 2016 module. So it's an inbuilt one, it's not a script name. So, and then identity, so it's user. So suppose I go for this user, suppose, right? So it's just giving one user, so it's dot James. That's how the script put it. Dot James was not found. Okay, I can also go for the James. Okay, and found. There's James. Or, well, I could have just seen that use here. I just picked up while in the search, so there could be many ways to do it. Example one is get an user's identity is, minus identity you have to just put there, right? So that would be the details of the user, and you can just go for the examples there. It's just minus identity, and you have to just put the full email. So it's the UPN or user principal name should be there fully, not just the Active Directory, just the name of the user. Okay, first name, last name. So this is how we can use that, but this is just a use of this. You know, there are many other get dash move requests is there, get dash move request statistics is there. So there are many other commandlets there that we can check. That there's a get dash move request statistics minus identity. Again, you have to give that user and domain name there, and then it gives you move request statistics. So it's per user there, and there is another one, get dash move request statistics dash move request queue, and then the database name. So that's more useful, where you can actually check that for which database. This example returns additional information about the mailbox move for Tony Smith's mailbox and exports the report to a .csv. So move request queue would be the other one for the whole database there, right? Example, yeah, it's the top one. From the top, it's also the example actually default statistics for all mailboxes whose move requests are in progress or haven't been cleared for the database. This, so that would be more useful to get bigger, more information about what's going on from bird's eye view. I'm just going to put that commandlet there as well, and simply just give a detail, small detail there. So I'll just add some information from this one as well. So that's for which database the users have been moved already. I'll just put the detail here and then put back the command. So at least it would be in our, otherwise there are so many ways you can know how to do this. So I'll just quickly finish that. Okay, so get dash move request statistics, and then there's a hyphen move request queue, and then the database name. So I'm just gonna run the whole thing, get dash move request statistics, and then hyphen move request queue. So I'll quickly just run that as well. Move request S, press tab here, and then minus or the hyphen there for move request queue. Oops. Move request queue. So it does it. Yeah, the tab auto completes that as well, and then the database name. So the database name, I'm just gonna put that. What was the database name? I'll go to servers and go to databases. So your first name DB01. Oh, doesn't work. Okay, thank you for checking that already. So your first name DB01. So let's see what the error is. No, it works. It works. So it's, the cool thing about that is that it's actually giving the size of the database as well, and so statistics, hence it's giving. So what's the command here? This is the command. Just don't go for the quotes there. Quotes are not necessary. Other than that, this is the commandlet. So I'm just going to copy that and put it on WhatsApp, and so I just change the name to your database name if you've created that, and here as well. Well, that's what we did, but I'll just get the actual command that I ran. Okay, commandlet. Now we get to know that it just shows the information about how many, the returns default statistics for all mailboxes whose move requests. So whatever commandlet we covered, I'll just put some questions. I could put some questions about those commandlets that we covered or that we tested first, right? Okay. So total mailbox size, that's really important always. That which mailbox is what size. So it's obviously all KBs because they're just empty. And pretty much they are completed for this particular database, or this much has been completed. Maybe all. But we get two commandlets there. If I up arrow and then up arrow and then up arrow again and again, get move request. So obviously 50% or 60% would have been done by now. It's again real time. Whatever is done. Yeah, majority are completed. Wow. Okay. Yeah, 25% remaining only. So yeah, so these are some of the commandlets with which you can just check the progress of the migration of mailboxes, right? So those commandlets we should. Okay, you got it. Cool. Very good. So Now we get to know that, okay, there are some commandlets that we can check out the progress of, and we can also check out the statistics of per databases. So if I up arrow again, now I had the statistics here, and then I would just go for the statistics of second one, and it would also just show me how many are done, if there are any progress going on. Yes, there is in progress, or actually there was a stalled written for one of the main boxes, and stalled is written for some others as well. And then if I go for the third database, then there is. And for the third database. Now there are even, you can just try to check for all these databases as well. There are many ways to refine this PowerShell command. Now you're doing the course, so you would know. Third database is the one that many are still waiting. So third database is not done, but the first two are pretty much, majority of them done already. So later then you will find the third database also will be done. Now this is, we can just take a screenshot number 5, and that is get dash move request statistics result. We can say it's just the commandlet name, screenshot number 5, take a screenshot number 5, take a screenshot number 5, and you can see the database's name in the background, and then this commandlet and the end has one database name showing there and the result that it can show. So take a screenshot number 5 now, that get dash move request statistics. That's the name of the screenshot, get dash move request statistics. The commandlet itself is the name of the screenshot, get dash move request statistics. So screenshot number 5, let's go ahead. Hopefully you've taken the screenshot with your name in the background. And I'll take the screenshot now, sample 1. The name of the screenshot is the name of the commandlet itself, get dash move request statistics. I'll quickly put it on. So now it would be so screenshot 5 equals get a move request statistics, move request statistics, get dash move request statistics, and that's a screenshot. So I'll just go for this on WhatsApp as well, mail server there, and screenshot 5, and get dash mail move request statistics. Oh, I already put that here, and move request statistics, dash move request statistics, request statistics, and I'll put it here, sample screenshot. Okay, so let's go ahead. Right, so this is done, and some statistics were also received. Now that one other commandlet that we already ran before as well, and even in last class, that how many mailboxes are in which database. Now that I in fact ran that at the start of this class as well. So I'm just gonna up arrow to get the older commands there, commandlets. Up arrow further, up arrow back. Oh yeah, this one. So get mailbox database. Before this commandlet, particularly for DB02, was empty. As the result was nothing because there was no mailboxes there. So obviously DB02 and DB01 had only one mailbox at that time. So now if I go for these statistics as well, all databases must have received their mailboxes, although the move request also showed that. So it's showing that for DB01 now that these many specific mailboxes are there. And then there is DB02, and that is obviously all the mailboxes there should be showing now. So you could just check that at the end of the successful migration if the mailboxes are properly showing there with these different commandlets that we're using. And then 3. So how many mailboxes in this particular mailbox database? So now we have 4 commandlets there that we already checked. So this, I'll just copy this. I think I already showed it there. So okay, so here, yeah, this shows how many mailboxes are there in this mailbox database. Okay, done. Let's go ahead. Now we were talking about the migration. We did the migration and distributed the mailboxes among 3 mailbox databases there, and then checked the progress of those migrations and the end result of those migrations with the help of Exchange commandlet. So that's that was the migration related tasks. These were the migration related tasks that we did. If we come down now, so these databases are having so if I go to the yellow folder or the file explorer, remember that we created 2 disks there separately for one for logs and one for databases there in these drives. So if I go to the database drive here, and well, actually this is empty because I didn't put anything here. I'm just gonna remove that because I went for just the whole folder structure that was able to let us create that. First I'll check that it's empty or not. Okay, it is empty, so we don't need that. Database and logs in SQL Server, yes, we create that exactly, database and logs, but in mail server we don't need that. It was able to let us just create the whole folder structure this way. I'm gonna click program files here, Microsoft Exchange Server V15. I'm just trying to go to the database folders with the database files inside. So DB01 has that edb.edb file there, and the size was used to be very small, but now it's 393 megabyte because the mailboxes inside are still kilobytes, right? There's no email inside those mailboxes. And once we go inside the database, there is that folder that gets created, and that's the index file are there. Now index metadata. So what are these folders that got created alongside the .edb database? So if you remember from the last class screenshots, when we created the databases, this folder was not there. It's just that .edb file was there, right? So that's the database file. But now this folder is also created there. So normally this is for indexing. It's just collecting all the metadata. Suppose you want to make a search of any email within the mailboxes across Exchange servers. Suppose there's an email, or maybe there's a word you're looking for, or a phrase or sentence you're looking for. Hey, sell all your shares tonight. That's it. Maybe you're looking for such a statement in all the mailboxes in your, suppose it's a bank, and all the mailboxes you're looking for this for last 5 years. Whoever mentioned that sell all your shares tonight, just bring me all those emails from all the mailboxes in the bank Exchange server. So this search will just let you then search that. So normally indexing service just crawls through all the mailboxes, and whatever emails are coming, whatever the mailboxes are there, it keeps just information about that metadata about those mailboxes and the contents of the emails. So it just checks or have some small reference there for all the mailboxes there. So this is and journaling. That's another service that we're going to be talking about during the course, during the rest of the course, right? So, but journaling basically is that journaling basically is, well, I call it also spying, but obviously for a company that's not spying. Company has full rights to they own your data. Whatever email for the company you're receiving, the company owns that data. So that's why the company has full rights to copy your incoming and outgoing emails somewhere else as well. So those official emails that the mailbox of the company's exchange server, in that mailbox. Suppose it's your Yahoo, Gmail. Obviously, they don't have the right to copy your emails there. But obviously, the company mailbox, they own that. Whatever's coming there and going from there, they must know that too. So journaling just means that they simply copy all your inbound and outbound emails to some other mailbox as well. Okay, so Paul says here, can we buy exports of hacked exchange servers on the dark web? Woo! Okay. Okay, I'll have to edit this video where I said that now. It was 1 hour 41 minutes. Okay, and 54, so 1 hour 41 minutes. So I have to edit and delete this, what I said just now. So, yeah, okay. But that was a very dangerous question. So yeah, but the thing is, technically everything is possible. The main thing here to say is now, okay. So well, this is it. I'm just gonna go back here. So there's an indexing folder there as well. Suppose sometimes your indexing service is not working, so you can delete that folder, and it's gonna just create another folder there, and it will start indexing or collecting metadata of all the emails and all the mailboxes there. It's just information and referential information about everything. So the search could get really quick and correct. So that's the database, but it increased in size. If I just visit the other drive where the log files of the same databases are, so there's that program files here, Microsoft, Exchange Server, V15, Mailbox, and then the same your first name DB01. Now you can see that last time we had just these two log files there, and each log file is 1 megabyte. So I was explaining to you about that, how does it all work. So whatever tasks are being done, whatever is going on is also stored in the transaction log file. So these log files, you can see how many log files have been created there. And so this is just about the activity. Then there's a temp.edp log file there, where temporarily whatever is going on in the database, so that log file really stores that temporarily, obviously. But if I go way up there, we did talk about the e01.chk. That's the log file that keeps an eye on all the data that is available, that has been committed. So normally what happens is that the data here, whatever is going on, is temporarily stored in these log files, and then these log files simply permanently copy that data to the database as well. So this check file actually keeps an eye on which log files have transferred their data permanently to the database, and which log files are still remaining and yet to transfer their data to the mailbox database. So this .chk file has a lot of tasks there that needs to be done, right? So, and it's just recovered file fragments. So it just says type, but normally it is the check file. The rest are just placeholders here, the .jrs. Okay, we see that the log files actually have increased. Now, if we had a backup going on, obviously, then we would have simply, you know, done this. That backup software would have deleted these files which have committed their data to the database, right? So that's how it is. And so guys, let's take a screenshot number 6, and that screenshot number 6 is the check file .chk file and the transaction log files. So screenshot number 6, take a screenshot number 6, take a screenshot number 6, and that is the .chk file, we can say, and the transaction log files. So take a screenshot number 6 and .chk file and transaction log files. So I'll just go for sample screenshot here. The .chk file and the transaction log files. So if you've taken the screenshot already with your name in the background, then I'll just go for the sample screenshot here. Screenshot 6 .chk file and transaction log files. I'll put it here as well in server. Screenshot 6 .chk file and transaction. So that's a sample screenshot there as well. Okay, let's go ahead, and that's screenshot number 6. So guys, we can take a break now, and we can come back at 6:10. So let's take a break and come back at 6:10. Okay, so guys, we actually need to go for the database availability group as well as our part of our on-premises lab, and the rest of the features of Exchange can be covered in Exchange Online as well, but specifically this Exchange server on-premises, I want to show about the database availability groups. Although in the slide I mentioned about the mailbox features, so while I'm gonna create another Exchange server, zone 3 here, and show how it joins the existing organization, that you also need to see. And then while it is installing, then I'll go for the mailbox features as well, so we can cover multiple multiple labs there. So what I'm saying here is that let's cover some mailbox user mailbox features, that is. So user mailbox features. Now, while that we're gonna cover or try to cover at least. So in the exam, whatever we can cover or covered can will be in the exam, and whatever we didn't cover will not, obviously. So, but the second thing, while we want to cover the user mailbox features, let's install the second VM. Actually, let's start. I think we did that installation of second or the third VM already. Let's start the third VM, where we need to install the second Exchange server as well. And second Exchange server need to join the Exchange organization, and the information of that will be given by Active Directory to the second Exchange server. And then we need to create DAG, or database availability groups, to show high availability of databases if a crash happens. So tag is database availability group. So this will be then two tasks going on while the installation of second Exchange server or on third virtual machine is going on. We're gonna then try to cover the mailbox features as well if we can. So to really utilize the get the benefit of the on-premises, we need to reach DAG. Okay, so for that, I'll just now, according to then our environment, this is we've done the migration of the mailboxes as well. So those mailbox databases need to be highly available as well. So for that, we need a machine 3 here, server 03, and there we need to obviously join it to domain, and then log in from domain admin, the account with which we are logged in from server 1 and 2, and then we need to install prereqs of Exchange server 2016 here as well, and then install the Exchange server 2016. So once installed, then discuss and deploy obviously DAG. How can you make the databases highly available even if one Exchange server crashes? Does the DAG really keeps the database online or not? So once installed, then discuss and deploy DAG, database availability group. So for that high availability, we need the second Exchange server in the third virtual machine. So I'll initiate the installation of this third virtual machine. I'll configure it exactly like we configured the server 2. Once the Exchange installation starts, then we'll try to talk about the mailbox user mailbox features as well. So I'm going to quickly go to my environment here, and I'll just minimize this. And so this is our first machine, server 1 here, and this is the second machine, server 2 here. So I'll click that VMware workstation. So I'll click this first of all to show me the left side how many virtual machines I have. As soon as I click that, so I can see that we did prepare the 3 machines. So I'm just going to click that server 3, which is shut down, and it is 4 GB right now. If I go to my second machine, now the thing is that server 3 really needs the first and second machine both. Okay, so my second machine is 8 GB, and I have a total of 24 GB in this machine. And the first machine has, I think, 2 GB. So 10, I still have a lot. So 2 and 8. So I'm just going to give this third machine 8 GB as well. And then I'm going to power on this machine. If it's already joined to the domain, so then that's okay. I'll just simply go for the Exchange Server 2016 prerequisites and start deploying Exchange. Then we're going to come back to our mailbox features topic. So it's server 3 already we created before, so I'm just going to change the memory now to 8 GB and press OK. That's the only change I did. I would still need internet connection here. Why? Because we need to deploy the prerequisites of Exchange Server 2016 that we deployed in server 2 as well. So once the RAM is changed from 4 to 8 GB here, and obviously if you're doing that, you need to check if you have 16 GB RAM, then according to that you can give maybe 4 GB RAM to this machine as well. If you have 32 GB RAM, obviously according to that you can go for 8 or 12 GB RAM to this second machine as well. I'm going to power on this machine now, server 3. So while it is powering on, so I'll just write those scenarios here. So installing second Exchange server on third VM, and so here changed the RAM to 8 GB, logging in from domain admin account. If the machine is already joined, then otherwise join the machine and then do that. So I'll just check it out if so machine is there, and I'll send the Control-Alt-Delete. Yes, it's already joined the domain and I'm logging in from domain admin account. So all we need to do is just initiate the prereqs installation. That's one script and 2 small utilities. So I'm trying to introduce the second Exchange server in our lab now. So I'll simply try to run the script first. So now a second Exchange server needs to have the first Exchange server online and needs to have the Active Directory, obviously, and name resolution online. So both machines are needed for the third Exchange server to deploy. If it was SQL server, then we don't need the second machine. We could have shut down the second machine and freed up some RAM and CPU for the third machine to take more RAM and CPU and install SQL. But for Exchange, it needs that organization management or Exchange organization to be alive. So I just need to first start the PowerShell with admin privileges in the third machine, and I need to run that very long script, which is a prerequisite script there. So it says check if we made the 2 RAID drives on the machine. So that's a very good idea, but so Yusuf, I just wanted to show that those drives are there, how to create them, the RAID, but we actually we don't have to go for the second machine. Just wanted to show how it is created and what's the concept behind that. But yeah, if you remember, and you can also create that RAID 1 for the application as well. But that just, so in a in experimental environment, right? So it's not that compulsory, but now we know how to do this. So let's go ahead and, but yes, we will be introducing the two drives for, so if I go back to server 2, we know that we have created the two drives for, one for database, one for log files. These two drives we will be creating, definitely, because when we fail over, when this server 2 based database fails over to server 3, that database must have exactly the same path, where one drive is database, one drive is logs. So these two drives we will need. But yes, in server 2 we have this E volume created on top of RAID 1. So suppose you don't have that on server 3 being offered what is offered in server 2, so it will still work. But the thing is that yes, we get the recommendation, or we know how to do that now. Okay guys, here server 3, and but the second drive, see this, we did create a second drive, just for the application, right? So that we didn't create here before we installed the Exchange server. So yes, again, thank you for sharing that information, Yusuf. So at least the second drive should be there. So if I go to server 3, if I go to the yellow triangle or yellow folder here, so we just have C drive. So for the application, at least I'm going to create a second drive. So just to be consistent, it's the 300 GB for the application, while 500 GB for database and log files as well. So your head, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to go for server 3. I just need to add a second drive, 300 GB now, for just the application. So I'm going to right click here and go to settings, and I need to add the second drive, 300 GB, just for the application. Later I need to add two more drives, 500 GB each. Actually, why not now? So if I go back to the diagram here, so it would be one drive for the OS already, second drive for the application. The rest of the two drives are for just the database and for the log files. So that's how it looks like now. So this is just the C colon OS, and this is E colon backslash application, and this would be F colon backslash DB, and G colon logs. So that's how it would look like. Logs. Okay, and this is for that. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. So I'm just going to add 300 GB here, 300 and 500 each here. Well, that's just to identify them as different purpose drive. Otherwise, the size doesn't really have any other particular reason why this size, why not some other size. So since I'm on machine 3 now, so I'll be adding 3 drives now. I'm going to click add button and go for hard disk selection, and I'm going to go for next. SCSI is okay. Next, create a new virtual disk. Next. So I'm going to go for 300 because that's what we allocated for the application. I'm also going to click single file and click next. The outside name doesn't have to be changed. So I want to click finish. So that's the drive for application. In server 2, we created this on top of 2 disks and created RAID 1. But here we're just creating one simple disk. Then I'm going to click add again to add the 2 other drives, one for database and one for log files as vendor best practice. So hard disk, it is already selected here. And I'm going to click next. SCSI is okay. Next, create a new virtual disk. So that's the database drive, 500 GB, single file, that's it, right? Next, the outside name, we don't have new change. Finish. Now for the logs file drive, I'm going to add this one as well. Add hard disk is selected. Because he's okay. Create neutral disk. Next, 500 GB here and single disk. And we're going to go for next, no change to outside name. Finish. So it looks like now this. So 3 drives have been added there, and one is for application, this one, other database, and log file. Oops, sorry. This one is for database, this is for log file, this is for application. They're up they're not in order. Okay, I'm just going to press OK here. And then we need to format the 3 disks to make them usable and to deploy Exchange Server on top of that. Okay, so the 3 drives are added. I'm going to minimize this as well. And I need to go to server 3. I'm already in server 3. I'm going to go to tools here. And then going to go down to, or actually to the computer management. Why? Because I need to go to disk management. I'm going to click the disk management here. So once 3 drives are created, then we're going to take the screenshot number 7. Okay, I'll go to the disk management here. And I need to bring online all 3 disks and then initialize them together. So I need to, so disk 1, disk 2, disk 3 are there. Disk 0 is already for operating system. So I'm going to right click on disk 1 and bring it online. Then I'm going to go for disk 2, bring it, right click and same, online, and the 3, right click and online. Once you bring all the disks to online, then once you initialize, it discovers all 3 disks. If it was offline, and whichever is online, initialization will only discover that disk which is online. So now it should discover, when you click initialize, it should discover all 3 disks and ask for the partition type. So it discovers all 3 disks, and there's that GUID partition table or master boot record. So it doesn't really matter whichever you choose. In our case, our drives are not more than 2 terabyte. But if you need more partitions created inside even your smaller disks, then you can go for GPT as well. So MBR GPT doesn't matter, and I'm going to press OK. So all 3 are initialized now. I'm just going to format, but we need to label them according to their purpose. So I'm going for the 300 GB first, which is for the application of Exchange Server. So I'm going to right click here and go for new simple volume for the 300 one. Next. And yes, full 300 we're going to use. Then next, it's E drive. It has taken E drive, so that's okay. Next. So the volume is app or application, app or application, whichever. So perform a quick format is okay, and click next. And then that's it. So click finish. Sorry, can you go back? John says, can you back? Okay, how back? Let me know. Is it this or really at the start? Well, I went back really. So start now, and then so I just started from 300 GB first, and then next and next 300 GB, yes, E drive, and then this is application. New. Yeah, new spend. Okay, so I'll cancel it. So this is right click, and there's a new simple volume. This one. And then we go ahead. So right click on the 300 GB new simple volume, the first one, and then next, 300 GB full, next, E drive, next. That's it. Application. And I'll go next now and finish. Right? Okay. Finito. And then there's disk 1 I'm going to go for, and I'll name it database Then the disk 3 I'll go for and name it logs. It doesn't have to be disk 1 as database. Disk 3 could be database as well. Doesn't matter. So new simple volume. It's the 500 GB one now. And click next. 500 GB full we're going to use for the database. Right, next. It's going to take F drive. Yes, the F drive has to be database because that's the same letter on server 2 as well. So next, and it's dedicated for database. So the path inside has to be exactly the same, guys. If you want high availability to work, or DAG or database availability group to work, the path has to be exactly the same. The drive letter has to be the same. The database, well, the label doesn't matter, but we still have to label it according to the naming convention. So click next and finish. Then we choose mirror volume. No, for the 2 disks, Hamid, no, we don't need mirror volume because we need separate disks for that. When you go mirror, so if I just cancel this and right click here and there's a mirror volume, if you create mirror, it's gonna attach or combine the 2 disks and it's gonna make 1 volume out of that. We actually need a separate volume for database and we need a separate volume for log files. So it's a separate disk for database, separate disk for log files. And yes, that says need at least double the disk space then. So yeah, I'm not planning to have RAID 1 here because I just wanted to show how RAID 1 is created, but otherwise we're gonna not be needing in next 2 or 3 classes. After that, we're not gonna need this lab at all. So yeah, we're not here for long term. So that's why RAID 1 is not needed. So now just right click on 500 GB as a separate disk and the other 500 GB as a separate disk. One for database and one for log files. I'm going to right click here and new simple volume as we did before, and next 500 GB, next F drive. It has to be a separate F drive and the other one has to be a separate G drive, just like in server 2. So this is F drive, next, and then I'm just naming it database. And next, and finito. So that's the database drive. That has to be, so that F drive is dedicated for database. I'm just going to double check in server 2. Yes, database is F drive. Okay, because we're going to install database, and even inside this exactly has to be the folder structure in the other Exchange server as well. Otherwise, the database will not fail over. In case of disaster, database will not fail over or migrate to the server 3 if the path is exactly not the same. So I'm going to go to server 3 back, and so the 500 GB for database is already formatted. I'm going to go for the other one for logs, and I'm going to go for new simple volume here as well, and click next. Well, this is the same drill, 500 GB, next. G drive is okay. If I go to server 2 and check it out, so yes, logs is G drive. And next, so it's logs. The name doesn't, it's not like, you can, the name doesn't have to be exactly the same way, but just to identify that this is the log drive. Suppose there I put capital S, here I don't put capital S, then it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect anything. Next, and that's it. So it's logs and next and then finish. So this is dedicated for logs, this is dedicated for database, and this is dedicated for application. The first one is for the operating system. So if I go to my yellow folder here, so now that's how it looks like. This is how it looks like there in server 2. This is how it looks like in server 3. So that's our screenshot number 7 now. Take a screenshot here, take a screenshot, take a screenshot. So screenshot number 7 is that required drives created. Screenshot number 7 is required drives created. So I'll take that sample screenshot now. Hopefully everyone has taken screenshots. So required drives created. So I'm just gonna take that screenshot now. Required drives created is the title. So I'll go to the OneNote and that's a screenshot 7 required drives created. And I'll go for WhatsApp, mail server, screenshot 7 required drives created there in WhatsApp. Okay, that's the sample screenshot. Okay, and so this is the screenshot number 7, and if it has been taken, let's go ahead. Now we're ready to go for prerequisites here, and the first prerequisite, second, and third. Now for that, we can download the Edge and then download all the files. Not only the files should be there now in your desktop, because in server 2, in fact they are in server 2, right? So if they are in server 2, well, if I go to the downloads folder in server 2, obviously the script is not there, but the other two applications are there. So that's UCMA and VC Redist that I need to copy from server 2 to server 3's folder, and the script obviously I need to grab from the Blackboard previous class or the previous than that. So I'll just line up those. So let's install prerequisites of Exchange 2016 in server 03. So let's run the script and restart the VM. Let's run the script inside privileged PowerShell. Okay, that's the first thing. Then install the UCMA, and install. So it's a vredist file, but these are the C++ redistribution and the unified messaging files. So I'm just gonna go for the script. So let's open PowerShell with privileged. Actually, the PowerShell is open. Oh, sorry, it was in server 2. I'll go for server 3. Let's open PowerShell with admin privileges in server 3. In fact, for me it is open, or I already had opened that. So I just need that script. So I'll go for, Blackboard and course content, login. Which week was it? I think it was 5. Yeah, week 5, guys. You have prerequisite tool 1, prerequisite tool 2, and slide for week 5 had the. Oh, I didn't upload the script there. Seriously. So I'll go for week 5 there and try to upload the script for you as well. So that PowerShell had, that slide would have had the script. Yeah, there's a script. Okay, so I'll just grab the script, and those who are following can take it from the WebEx chat. and from the WhatsApp as well. And also should be in a file. Okay, we may not need that now, but I'll just go for Notepad plus Prerequisite Exchange 2016. I'll go for just downloads here. I'll upload it in the Blackboard as well. If there a question comes for the script, I'll try to not make it tough. It's just gonna be so Prerequisite script for Exchange 2016. Okay, it's up there. So yeah, I'll just copy it now to my machine in PowerShell where it's not copying, so I'll just open Notepad first. Inside the machine, Notepad, and just grab it once again. Now it's there. So I'll just copy. So I opened a Notepad inside the machine. First I copied it there. Now I'm gonna copy from there to inside the PowerShell with admin privileges, which is already open. So it's there and it's work. It has already executed. While this is going on, I'll put some more information there in. So also make sure turn off firewall in third VM. So it is done, and what we well, normally there's a restart that needs to be done after that. So we can just right click and restart, or there's a command for that, restart dash computer tab. If you go for tab, yes, restart dash computer. So there's a command for that. We can just restart this way or the other way. Restart dash computer and restart server 3. And then go for the next two tools, which we need to actually copy from server 2 to server 3. And run them, and then finally just initiate the deployment of second Exchange server. Okay, back. And I need to then copy the other two utilities from server 2 to server 3. So I can go to server 3 here, and over the network, like I'm going to go to server 3 and right click and go to run, and I'll try to go to the C drive and then downloads folder of server 2. So // and then the IP is 192.168.200.2 is the IP of server 2 while sitting in server 3, and /C$. So that is a hidden share of server 2. So I'll go directly inside the C drive of server 2, and then users folder, and then username, and then downloads folder of that. Or I could just transfer those files to the C drive directly and copy from there. I'm just going to press OK here. It lets me go to the C drive because the same user account is logged in from there as well and here as well. So $C$, then users, and then I'm logged in from your first name admin, and then its downloads folder. So this downloads folder is this current machine's download folder. This is not the destination server's download folder. So that's why I had to go to $C$, then users, then your first name admin, and then downloads. Because this user account's downloads folder you copied, or I copied the two files and everything. So I'm gonna just copy the UCMA and VC Redis copy from there. And this left side downloads folder is the current server 3 downloads folder. So I'm just gonna click that downloads folder now and paste it here. Okay, so I'll first run this UCMA unified messaging, and then I'm going to run the other one, C++ redistribution tool. So I'm just going to press yes here, and click next. I write and accept the license terms. That's it, right? And install. Okay, so it's done, and I'll click finish. I'll go for the second one. Visual C redistributable, and I agree. Install. Yes, done, I guess. Yep, done. So once this prerequisites are installed, and I need to just check if the firewall is excuse me, is open. So I'll just turn off the firewall. I'll double check this firewall of server 2, because the Exchange server of server 3 during the installation needs to detect the Exchange server of server 2. So there should be no communication blockade there between the two Exchange servers. So I'm on server 3. I'll go to the local server here, and its domain profile, firewall domain profile is on. So I'm just gonna go to this and turn Windows Firewall on or off, this one, and turn off, and press OK. And then server 2, I'll just double check again about the firewall here. It says off. I'm not going to trust that, and click that and check if the three profiles of the firewall are red. Yes. Okay. I'll go for server 1, because server 3 Exchange server will contact Active Directory and ask that, hey, do we have an Exchange organization already? And Active Directory in server 1 will say, yes, second Exchange server, we already have a first Exchange server. You need to join this Exchange organization. So Active Directory will be telling the second Exchange server about the presence of the first Exchange server. So I'm going to check the firewall here in server 1. And yeah, 3 profiles are off, so we're good. So server 3, I'm going to go back here, and I just need to initiate the installation of Exchange server now. Turn off. So I need to map the ISO of the Exchange server 2016 cumulative update 11 or CU11 to the virtual DVD of this machine. So I'll right click here and go to settings, and then I'll go for the CD DVD and click browse, and just go to where the Exchange server files are here in my machine. D drive, GBFall2020, Exchange server. Okay, so Exchange server 2016, X64, CU11, community update 11. I'll just click that and press O and K. So the Exchange server DVDs or ISO is mapped. Once it is mapped, so yeah, it pops up here as well, and I'll just deliberately miss it. Suppose somebody misses it, then what do we need to do? We just need to go to the File Explorer here, the yellow folder, go to this PC, and then double click the drive here and press yes. Well, now it's a ISO file. Miss the ISO file means you don't have ISO file, or how to connect, John? So what was ISO file? Yeah, if I right click and go to settings, and there's the CD DVD here, excuse me, and browse. So this is the ISO file. Location, well, the way you install server 2, so it should be inside your laptop or desktop somewhere in downloads folder or wherever you downloaded it. So it's just your local folders wherever you put that for server 2. In fact, go to server 2, and server 2 would already have it mapped. So from there, click go to DVD and browse. Oh, there you go. Okay, good. Well, so okay, this is launched here, and connect to the internet and check for updates, or don't check for updates right now. I'm not connected to internet, and we know if we do connect to internet, it's not going to find anything. It's just updated. This cumulative update is updated. So I can just keep this option selected and still go next, and it should not be able to find anything, but it still lets us go ahead. This could be because of update server, blah blah blah. Exchange server, I can't contact the update server right now. You can manually download and apply updates for completing after completing. So it just says that go ahead now. It's okay. So once you have mapped the network drive, John, then just go to the D drive and double click it and press yes. Right? So go to the D drive, double click it and press yes. And so, and then just next. There's nothing much there until you reach this updates. It's just next. So I'm gonna click next. Copying files, so it's gonna copy the files from the ISO map to the DVD. It's gonna copy the file from there to here. So okay. Oh, John's is it's not showing. John, see this? If you go to right click here, server 3 and go to settings. Right click here in server 3 and go to settings. So go to DVD. Make sure these two checkboxes are checked. Make sure these two boxes are checked. Then press OK and then it will show. So if you have mapped it successfully and these are not checked, it's not going to show. I'll cancel out from here. Okay, so it's initializing the setup, and obviously it's going to check all the prerequisites, and then it will let us go ahead like last time. Now it says introduction, and well, it's just next till now. But here, I need to just obviously click next again, and then I accept the terms in the license agreement, and again next. Use recommended settings. So yep, nothing much here till now. It's just simply next. And I'm gonna click next here. So when you were installing the first time Exchange server, so before this, well, we're gonna see next as well, but the organization page was there that named this Exchange organization. So well, whether it will come next or it may not come at all, so we need to see that. But on this page, obviously, we're going to select exactly the same selection that we did before in server 2, and that is that we're going to select the mailbox role, and we will also select that automatically install Windows Server roles and features that are required to install Exchange server. So automatically add those roles and features. So this is what we selected last time as well, and I'm going to click next. So mailbox role and automatically install. These two checkboxes need to be checked. And now the path, that's important as well. So I'll go for I'll keep the folder structure intact. I just need to change the C drive to E drive, like last time. And I'm gonna click the browse button here now. And oh, seriously. Okay, last time I remember that I actually had to create the whole folder structure, which was something that we could have avoided as well. So if I go to server 2 here and go back to this PC and then E drive, so I actually created the program files, then Microsoft, then Exchange Server, then V15. So in V15 we have everything. So this means that I'll create a new folder called program files, then a folder called Microsoft, then a folder called Exchange Server, and then a folder called V15. Oh, okay. So Amit says that before the installation, it will say that there's a pending reboot. Oh, okay. So, well, thank you for that warning. So you got it already, this means. Did you get it already, or like, oh, okay. So thank you for that. So guys, even if we create all this, well, actually, if I create that now and still restart, so when I restart, so obviously this will already have been created there. But since yeah, so that's great for the warning as well. And I'm just going for that folder, so I'm just thinking that even if I create that now, it's okay. It's still going to be there when I try to restart again. At least the folder structure. Since I'm here, so I'll just try to create one. I'm in the browse and then I went for E drive. I'll just quickly select the E drive and click the make new folder. So I just need this path. This path. So it's not compulsory to have this path for the application. I created one server 2, so I'll keep that configuration same here as well. Otherwise, it's not compulsory. You can just put one folder and install everything there as well. It's up to you. So make new folder and program files. I'll select this folder and then click again. You have to select this folder to create a folder under it. So I'll select this folder and click make new folder, and that is Microsoft, and then I'll click make new folder, Exchange Server, then I'll click this folder and V15 version 15. So I'll keep this V15 selected and press OK, and now this path is there. So it's in E drive and the same like server 2. I'm going to click next now, and yes, I need to keep the malware scanning enabled, so that's why I'm clicking no. No is for disable, don't disable, this means enable. So click next. So yeah, just for the video I'm just showing that error as well, what Hamid mentioned. So definitely it should tell me as well. Maybe I get some more errors, so I just needed to check that what needs to be filled up other than this the pending restart. Other than that, okay, so yeah, just that. Oh, serious. How can I miss it? .NET framework. How can I miss it? Serious. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, .NET framework. I was thinking, hey, actually we did deploy last time Chrome for a reason, so it was that .NET framework link, and that was also in slide 5. So, ouch. So I'll just put that slide 5. This means that what we need to do is we need to connect to internet download this .NET Framework and simply install, and just do one restart for both .NET Framework and Exchange Server. So should have just seen all the prereqs here in slide 5. So I'll just quickly grab that .NET Framework download link. In fact, that was and prereq deployment. Sorry, I'm just trying to arrange the link for you as well. It's not based API for Visual C, really resultant, or I could just simply find it. Oh, there you go. So that's the link for direct link to download. So guys, I'm just going to put that link here. If any one of us have not downloaded, or those who are following and not downloaded the .NET Framework 4.7, download .NET Framework 4.7. So I'll quickly, this means that I need to either download Edge and then just work on that in that machine. So I'll open Notepad once more. Type that link and I'll go to Explorer. Obviously, I need to add the internet now, which I haven't enabled yet. So for this particular reason, we had the internet enabled. I'm going to right click on server 3 and add a second network card and connect it to NAT. I'm going to go for server settings here on server 3 and click the add button and go for second network adapter that is connected to NAT to give us internet connection. There's the NAT here, and I'm going to press OK. So just going to add NAT, and I'll just go ahead and so I got internet connection. I'll just quickly go for Edge or Chrome and simply, well, I am just okay with Chrome actually, so I'll quickly go there, download. Simply. Okay. I also may have .NET Framework in machine 2 as well, right? I do still need Chrome setup, Chrome installed, and I think this is the .NET Framework here. Download now. I still need to install Chrome anyway. So guys, you all have .NET Framework 4.7 in your server 2 because we had to install it, and that is it, NDP471. So I can just copy from there to here, .NET Framework, and simply deploy. Just waiting for Chrome to be installed. My internet is slow or dead. go ahead and add it to the save sites. Really? Okay. Okay, well, this is, you have the link, you can download from there, or I'll just go ahead and copy it from server 2. It's not a big file. So I'll just right click here, run, and just get it from server 2, the file. Users, admin, downloads, and this is the, it's just 67 MB, serious. Done. So, well, Chrome is just installing, and try to, okay, installed. I'll now just go ahead and apply this .NET Framework 4.7, yes, and then restart just once. Okay. Okay, read and accept, install. So guys, what we are expecting at the end of it is, if I go to server 2 and minimize this, and I go to the ECP, the dashboard of Exchange server, refresh this. Yeah, so if I go down here to servers in the dashboard, Exchange Admin Center, if I go down to the servers here, so I should be seeing server 3 here as well in the Exchange Admin Center. If the Exchange server is successfully installed, the proof will be that in the Exchange server administration database console, second server will appear here. Right now, server is there, joined to the domain, but since Exchange is not successfully installed, so it's not showing that second server here. So that's the main area to check it out. I just need to log into. Okay, so it's installed. Finish. And now it's a restart. So pending restart for Exchange and the .NET Framework both are installed, and one restart should solve it. So I'll just go ahead and restart this. Okay. Restart anyway. Okay, so it's I'll just log in again and initiate the installation of Exchange over now. Okay, so it's yeah, now I'm ready, so I'll just go for the other folder. This PC, go for Exchange. Yes. Now it should not give me any errors. So guys, next week is the reading week, right? Okay, it's connect to the internet. Well, it's already connected. I'll click next. Okay, so next, and copying files. Okay, initializing setup. I'll click next, accept, next. Use recommended settings, I'll go next. Again, select Mailbox and automatically install. Next. So I'll just change that path to the one created in E drive. I will select the V15 folder for all the files of Exchange to land here and press OK. So it's E and V15, and I click next. Keep it no to not disable malware. Next. Okay, so detect a send connector with an address space of star mail flow to the internet may not work properly. So this warning we can ignore, and we can just go ahead. If this is the only warning you get, then we can just click the install button now. So the installation of the second Exchange server, and you can see that there are 14 sections or 14 stages here. That it's gonna 14 modules we can also say are there for the Exchange setup or Exchange installation. So there are setup files in the first one, then second one, then the third one, fourth one, and it goes on up to 14th. So this is something that I could ask in the midterm as well. So guys, that would be our screenshot number 8. That Exchange installation started on server 3. So take a screenshot here, take a screenshot here, take a screenshot here. So Exchange installation started on server 3. So this is your screenshot number 8. Exchange installation on server 3. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take that sample screenshot now and go to Exchange installation. So screenshot 8 Exchange server installation started on server 03. So Exchange installation started on server 03, or Exchange server installation started on server 3, and then the screenshot. I'll put it there. So mail server screenshot 8 Exchange server installation started on server 03, and then the next screenshot. So take a screenshot, and so the installation will now keep going, and if you've taken that screenshot here with your name in the background, so we're good. Now what we can do is we can just try to check some of the features of Mailbox users. So while this installation is going on, and obviously it's going to take a good 40-50 minutes, so I'll go for the other one, server 2, and so screenshot 8 is done as well. Now I'm going to go down here. So at certain point during the installation in server 2, suppose you're on servers section here and you refresh, so the other server starts appearing there, but it just started to deploy. So server 3 or second Exchange server now will start putting all the configurations inside the machine, and it will update the Active Directory schema as well, and then it will update the first Exchange server as well, and then the first Exchange server will start seeing the name of the other machine, that is where we're installing the second Exchange server. So your first name serve3 should be appearing in the servers area here under your first name serve2. So I'll just put that installation in front, and so it's just showing now, and I'm just going to click that server 2, and we can just go back to the recipients in exchange, that ECP Extension Control Panel or Exchange Admin Center. Inside the recipients, there's mailboxes here, and there's a lot of mailboxes appearing there. And if I go to Alan Reed's mailbox, or select that in recipients and mailboxes inside server 2, so I can just double click that Alan Reed mailbox, and once you double click, obviously all the mailbox features then pop up there, if it pops up today. Here's wow, it's taking forever. Close that and go for that initial. Double click it. All the mailbox features are showing on the right side as well, but yeah, there you go. So there's and then there's general feature, there's mailbox usage, there's contact information, organization, email address, mailbox features, which is the main area, this one that we're going to visit a lot for doing different labs, then member of, mail tip, and then mailbox delegation. So that's what I have mentioned in the slide as well. So there's a lot of mailbox features there. Our feature discussion is there. So manage user mailboxes, and there's general mailbox usage, contact information, organization, email address, mailbox features. So normally what happens is that general just shows you the general information about the mailbox. If I go back here, I'll just close this. So general just shows you first name, initials, and last name, and alias, and user logon name. So that's important as well. What's the user logon name, and then what is your domain name here? Require password change on next logon or hide from. So if I go to more options inside the general here, then it just shows that which organizational unit in Active Directory that user belongs to, and mailbox database there is this. So this user particularly is on DB01. And then there are some custom attributes that we can place there as well. So it just goes up to the user logon name, and then required password. Hide from the address list is also there. Select this checkbox to prevent the recipient from appearing in the address book. So this is hide from address list here, require password change. So you don't want this mailbox to be appearing in the to when you're going for new emails, and then go to and then check from the address book. So you can actually hide that mailbox as well there. So it will not appear in address book, so nobody will know then if the user exists. So other than that, this is the feature there, and then there is that click more options, and then comes the organizational unit. We just talked about that. Mailbox database. So which mailbox database? Obviously this is, and then custom attributes as well. So this section displays the custom attributes defined for the user mailbox. To specify custom attribute values, click Edit. You can specify up to 15 custom attributes for the recipient. So if I click the Edit button here, then there are 15 custom attributes, which is just that you can just put any information there, like department, excuse me, or branch, or anything else that you want to put here, you can place here as well, extra information. So this all is appearing here. So in general, obviously that's just basic information. Then we go for the mailbox usage. That's the second one, and it tells actually when the user last logged on. So that's good for investigation as well, that hey, when did this user log? Suppose it was 1 year before that the user logged on, so you would know right away that okay, so this mailbox is not being used at all. Why don't we just disable it or just delete it? So this information is there, last log on, and then there is the mailbox size as well. So when did the user last log on, and the size of the mailbox is appearing there in mailbox usage. Right now it's 0% of 2 GB is the size given to the mailbox. 2 GB is the default size given for the initial mailbox. And then there's more options here. If I click the more options, you can see the use the default quota settings from the mailbox database. But it says here, customize the quota settings for this. What is the quota setting anyway? So it just says that, hey, your mailbox size is 2 GB here, and issue warning at 1.9 GB. So this is just a quota limit. You can just go for a bigger size for the mailbox, and then launch a warning there for a size near to that. So this is 1.9 GB. It's going to give a warning only, but then prohibit send. It's not going to let you send the email because your mailbox is full. When it reaches 2 GB full, then it's going to let you not send. And 2.3, if it goes more than that, then it's actually going to block the receive email as well. So outbound email will be blocked at exactly 2 GB, which is the full size allowed, and then at 2.3. If it goes more than that, even receive email will be also blocked. So obviously you would have to keep on deleting the emails to free up. And then there is another option here, use the default retention settings from the mailbox database. So there are default retention settings, or retaining just means that how long do you want to retain the emails on this mailbox. That is on the database level. That can also be changed. But here you can also make sure that if you click this option, suppose customize the retention settings for this mailbox. Uh, so keep deleted items for 14 days. So this means that when the items are deleted, at least don't delete it for at least 14 days. It should be recoverable whatever you delete for 14 days. Don't permanently delete items until the database is backed up. So this is also good. Never, if you click that, then whatever you delete will never be permanently deleted unless the backup software has already backed up that deleted item. Then after that, go ahead and permanently delete that. So this option says that. So I'm just gonna put it back to this use default retention settings from the mailbox database. And so here we just get that we can play with the quota limits there for different users. Suppose there are some abusers there, not the users, but the abusers of the mailbox. Then you can go for the quota limits and customize the quota limits, or be more strict even to the users who are just filling up the email with not clearing up the mailbox. They're not deleting any email. So many users say that, oh, we don't have time. So then it's all the headache of it comes down to the support, and then that's why archiving solution is better. That the mailbox will remain lighter in that case. All emails will move away to the archived mailbox from the actual mailbox. Mailbox usage shows that then contact information is there, which is just simply city, state, province, and country, region, work phone. So you can just put all the general information about the user. And then there's more options here, which just gives you home phone web page of the user, if any, and some notes. So contact information is just, you can fill it up, or HR department normally fills up that information. Then organization, which is title, department, company, and who's the manager. So you can just put the username in Active Directory of the manager, who's the manager of this particular user, or number of users there. Yeah, you can just mention that. Then email address comes pretty simple and straightforward till now. That each email address type has one default reply address. So the default reply address is displayed in bold. To change the default reply address, select the email address that you want to set as the default. So we just have one email address. That's why we can't do anything about it. But if you really want, suppose you have multiple domains there, and suppose you connect your Exchange server to an outside purchased domain, and that domain is showing here, then you have to add that domain, outside domain, to the accepted domain list, and then it appears here. So you want to, if you have multiple domains here, then you can change the user's domain, that hey, this would be the reply address and the actual email address of the user. So automatically update email address is based. This is the area. This is we just have one domain here. If we had multiple domains, then you would change that to here. I'm going to go for mailbox features. Now that's where lots of long list of features are there. So and that's mentioned in that this slide as well. That mailbox users we just talked about. Then there is more options. We talked about storage quota settings. We talked about issue warning at GB, prohibit send at GB, prohibit send and receive at GB. At this, not Josh Brown, it's GB, gigabyte, right? And then there's deleted item retention. We talked about that. Keep deleted items for days. Don't permanently delete items until the database is backed up. So we talked about all this. It's in the slide as well if you want to read the definitions of that. Contact information, we talked about that. And then organization, there's department, company, manage, direct reports. So that is this one, organization, right? So we have just talked about all this. So I'm just going ahead. I'm just showing you that this much we have talked about. So obviously, if we talked about it, then you have the written material there, and you can. So this means that it will be coming in the midterm if we have talked about it, right? So you have it in the slide, and it's an open book, and you can check it out from here. if you have that kind of time there. So use your time wisely for the exam. That's what I would suggest. Okay, so email addresses, we talked about that, and custom address type. There is also Exchange Unified Messaging Address is used, EUM. It shows in the slide that there's that option, but if I go to email address, if I go further down, so based on the email address policy. So if I click the edit button, it actually does not show EUM here. I think it could be the feature in Exchange 2019. So I'll just remove that. It's not showing here, but okay. So, and this is just the add SMTP and custom address type. That's just SMTP. So we talked about that, and then there is some node, make this the reply address, automatically update email addresses based on the email address policy. So that option also is there. Suppose you create an email address policy, then you can really, which is this email address policy. So you have to add a new domain in the email address policy as well, and here as well. So then you can change the user's domain from not this domain, maybe some other domain. And then the email goes to the new domain that you attach to the user. So you have to change the policy for that as well. Okay, so if I go back here, so there are mailbox features there, and there's a sharing policy, role assignment policy, retention policy, address book policy, unified messaging, mobile devices, Outlook web app, IMAP, POP3, MAPI, litigation hold, archiving, delivery options, message size restrictions, message delivery restrictions, member off, and then mail tip and mailbox delegation. All these are actually here in mailbox features, where there's a long list of all those. Now we're going to do the labs on all these, or majority of these we're going to do labs on. The rest we're going to cover them in discussions. And these are all coming obviously in like retention policy. There's a full lab on that, how to create a retention policy in Exchange server. So we're pretty much going to do that on Exchange Online. Role assignment policy, also we're going to go for anything mailbox based, we're going to cover in Exchange Online there. So sharing policy, and then email connectivity, mobile devices, and POP3, archiving, mail flow, message size restrictions, and delivery restrictions. So these are all we're going to check. So what I'm saying that we did not cover mailbox features. So until email address, what we covered, we can just, that could come in the midterm in the mailboxes. But mailbox features, member of, mail tip, mailbox delegation, we did not discuss that. So we will be, so that's in detail we're going to be discussing, because we're going to be doing labs on many of these features to understand those features better. So I'm just going to stop at then email address, and these are just very common, easy options there to understand. Nothing complicated here. So I'm just going to cancel out from here, and when it comes to server 3, so yeah, it's just on 3.0.14, so it's going to go on for long, so obviously I'll keep it running. Now, if there are any questions about, so guys, do we have class next week? Or if you want to come to have a class next week and you don't want to take rest, then we can have a class next week as well, right? So that's our screenshot number. Okay. So definitely 9. So guys, this is our screenshot number 9, right? So let's take that screenshot and then upload. So these are actually, sorry guys, wait, sorry, let me just double click that. So the screenshot of the user mailbox area is what I need to do. So if you took the screenshot of this, don't just ignore that. Take the screenshot of this one where we talked about these, some of the options there until email address, right? Take a screenshot number 9, and that is user mailbox features. Take a screenshot number 9, that is user mailbox features, and then collect them and upload them to the Blackboard, week 7. So take a screenshot. 9 user mailbox features. I'm just gonna go for, I think everyone has taken the screenshot and put the picture behind as well of your name or information of your name. So once the screenshot is taken, I'm just gonna go back. User mailbox features is the title. Okay. Screenshot 9 user mailbox features. User mailbox features. There you go. Okay, guys. So, well, the installation for those, the installation is going on in the background. Just make sure that it is done, and I'll just keep that laptop up and running until whenever the installation is done. And then I'm gonna just suspend these machines. Right click, power and suspend. So right now it's going on. Go ahead and upload, and see you on Thursday class. All right, thank you. Bye bye. See you next week as well. Thank you. Bye bye. Oh, class says wait. Yep. No, next working week or the after the reading week. In fact, we have midterm. So next week is the reading week. No class there, definitely. Right after that, midterm, 1 hour exam. Okay, have a good night. Thank you. Bye bye.